Boy froze. His grandmother, who had been paralyzed for 10 years, was suddenly playing basketball. She saw him too. Panicked, she turned and ran. Jay immediately gave chase, unable to understand why she'd been pretending all along. She disappeared into an alley, and he followed her all the way back to the house. Bursting into her room, he found her calmly sitting on the bed, reading a newspaper. Jay was certain of what he'd seen, but his grandma denied everything. Just then, his mother stepped in to vouch for her, saying she'd been in the room the whole time. Jay began to doubt himself. Had he imagined the whole thing? Jay's father was a wealthy man who had kept his true identity hidden from his son. He didn't want Jay to grow up spoiled, like his older brother. So from a young age, Jay was brought to live in a rundown house. He truly believed he came from a poor family, never knowing that every neighbor was actually a paid actor. Even his paralyzed grandma was part of the act. Her role was to help Jay experience the hardships of poverty. Jay's entire life had been meticulously designed. To improve his English, they arranged for American strangers to bump into him on the street. Even the vegetable vendors at the market were American. At night, once Jay had gone to sleep, his parents would take a secret elevator down to the basement. There, a team of educational experts waited, studying Jay's every move and crafting the next day's training plan. They believed that this artificial world would mold Jay into the perfect person. But over time, Jay began to feel that everything around him was scripted. One day in class, he blurted out a wild idea. There must be a creator behind this world. He felt like some invisible force was always watching him. His teacher chalked it up to stress. Then came that fateful afternoon after school, when he saw his grandma playing basketball. Jay's mind spiraled into chaos. He told his father what he'd seen, but his father just brushed it off, saying it must have been a mistake. That night, Jay dreamed of his grandma rising from her wheelchair, even dunking a basketball with ease. The next morning, he woke to find her photo hanging on the wall. His father broke the news. Grandma had suddenly fallen ill during the night and passed away. They had no choice but to kill her off. Her role had become too suspicious. At the funeral, Jay cried his heart out. He mourned deeply, unable to let go. Lying on the funeral platform, his dead grandma heard his sobs and shed real tears. After so many years together, they had formed a true bond. Jay's father rushed over to wipe away her tears and had her wheeled away immediately. And in that moment, Grandma just couldn't hold it in anymore. She sat up. Everyone froze in shock. Gasps filled the room. Thankfully, Jay was being held tightly by his father. The others rushed to wheel Grandma away, desperate to keep the lie alive. Everyone else was just pretending to be sad. Jay was the only one who truly was. But something still felt off. Why weren't his parents sad? Why did they move on so easily? A few days later, Jay waited until the house was empty and discovered the secret elevator. It led to the underground facility. There he saw photos lining the walls. Every face was familiar. They had all played roles in his life. And his grandmother? She was an educational researcher. Jay saw her again, the dead grandma. But this time there were no more lies. He didn't thank them. He didn't admire the effort. He was furious. Their so-called education had stolen from him the right to live a real life. And in that moment, Jay's world collapsed.